Hi guys. Before I have to move on to etymologies of countries, here are the continents and what they all mean. Here are the etymologies of continents. North America means North Amerigo. South America means South Amerigo. Africa means the land of dust. Europe means the Kurt equals N of Crete. Asia means the goddess of Lydia. The name Antarctica means the opposite to the Arctic, or the opposite to the North. And here are all the oceans and what they all mean. The Pacific Ocean means the peaceful ocean. The Atlantic Ocean means the world ocean. The Arctic Ocean means the ocean near the bar. The Indian Ocean means the river ocean. And the Southern Ocean simply means opposite to the Arctic. Both Antarctic Ocean and Southern Ocean are in common use as terms, and were originally used in reference to this body of water around the same time, albeit different centuries. Now, if anyone didn't know what the names of the countries came from, here are all their etymologies. Afghanistan. While some sources claim that Afghan may come from the Sanskrit of Afghana, itself perhaps derived from the Sumerian name of the Badakhshan region, Afbargan, mountainous country. According to a Persian translation, Afghan means whale in Armenian. Albania. Just like Afghanistan, Albania is a mountainous country. It took its name from the Albanoid tribe, which in turn took it from an Indo-European word alb, meaning mountain. Algeria. Algeria is the anglicization of the Arabic name meaning the islands. Andorra. The name Andorra comes from a local Nevers word, Endriel, meaning shrub-covered land. It has also been suggested that the country took its name from Arabic Agantura, the wanton woman, a legacy from the Moors. Angola. The Portuguese called the Angola area after the first word of the title of the ruler of the Mbundu people in Ndongo, Ngola Kilhange. Antigua and Barbuda. Christopher Columbus named Antigua after the Church of Santa Maria de la Antigua, St. Mary the Ancient, in Seville, Spain. The origin of the name Barbuda is not clear, but it has been suggested that it is derived from the Spanish words, engo, meaning ancient, and barbada, meaning bearded. Argentina. The name Argentina is said to have been coined by Spanish explorers who, when they first came to the region, noticed the silver ornaments worn by the natives. Thus the word is from the Spanish Argentine, silvery, and means land of the silvery river. Armenia. The Armenians call themselves the Halak after Noah's great-great-grandson from whom the Armenians claim descent. The Armenian name thus means the land of Harik. Armenia, however, may be a modification of Iranian, a tribe which lived in northern Syria. Australia. Imagining the existence of the land located in the southern hemisphere, the Greeks came up with the name Terra Australis Incognita, meaning southern in Latin. It means unknown southern land. Austria. The present name is derived from the fact that the region became a military district on the eastern border called Ostmark, Eastmark, of Emperor Charlemagne's Frankish kingdom of Zabudvar against the Avars. It was also referred to as the Avaria Mark. Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan may take its name from one of Alexander II the Great's Persian generals, Atriphanes, who in turn took his name from the Greek Atropatene, protected by fire. The Bahamas. It is not entirely clear where the Bahamas got their name, but it is said to mean shallow sea from the Spanish Baja March. It has also been speculated that it is derived from a much older Illyrian word. Bahrain. Bahrain means two seas, from Bahra. Rain in Arabic, the plural of Bada. It is a reference to the fact that the kingdom has seas to the east and west. Bangladesh. Bangladesh means land of the Bengalis, from Day, land or country. The Bengalis take their name from Bangla, the chief of the Dravidian-speaking Bang tribe. Barbados. Barbados came from the Spanish word barbada, meaning bearded or the beardedens. It has been speculated that Barbuda got its name from the same root. Belarus. The present name Belarus is a shortening of Belarus Rus, meaning White Ruthenia, but was rendered as White Russia in 1795. Belgium. The country is named after the Belgi, a confederation of tribes that lived between the rivers Rhine and Loire in Roman times. Belize. Named after the Belize River. The actual name Belize may be a Spanish mispronunciation of the name Wallace, a Scottish adventurer who is said to have established a settlement at the mouth of the river. Benin. The name may be derived from the Bini, Benin's original inhabitants. Alternatively, Benin may come from the Yoruba Iliban, land of argument, a possible reference to a time when the tribes were at war. Bhutan. Named Dzongkha in the language of Bhutan, from Drukgyal, land of the Thunder Dragon, often also translated as land of the peaceful dragon. Bhutan itself is perhaps from Sanskrit Bhot ant, end of Tibet, or Bhu Utan, high end, or Bhots than, land of the Bhutia apostrophe, a Himalayan people originally from Tibet. Bolivia. Bolivia takes its name from Simon Bolivar, a national hero who led the revolutions against Spanish rule in South America. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia is named after the river Bosna in Latin, while the name Herzegovina comes from the Old Serbian Herseg, Duke, to make the genitive case of Herseg in order to indicate possession, and ina, property. It thus means property of a duke, or simply duchy. Botswana. Named after the indigenous people, the Tswana or Bagswana. Their name apparently means those who went away of the separators. Brazil. Brazil takes its name from the parabrasil tree from which a valuable red dye is extracted. It means red dye wood. Brunei. The name Brunei is perhaps derived from the Sanskrit Bhumi, land. Bulgaria. This name came possibly from the Turkic Belga, mixed. Bulgaria is named after the Belgars, a mix of Turkic and Slav tribes. Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso translates to land of honest men, from Mendican Burkina, honest or upright, and Faso, fatherland. Burundi. The name comes either from Kirundi, a Bantu language spoken in Burundi, with bu, a prefix indicating the country, or from the name of the Bunti people. Cambodia. Cambodia is the Latinized form of the Sanskrit Cambodia, which in turn is derived from Sanskrit Nagara, city. Cameroon. Cameroon is the anglicized form of the Portuguese Camaros. The area was named Rio das Camaros, River of Prawns, by Portuguese explorers. Canada. Canada's name is perhaps derived from the Huron-Iroquois word Kanata, meaning village or settlement. Cape Verde. Cape Verde is named by the Portuguese. Cape Verde translates to Green Cape. The Central African Republic. The country's name is a reference to the fact that it lies at the center of Africa. Its previous name, Ubangi Kari, comes from the Bantu, land, and Bangi, rapid, and from a reference to the river Kari. Chad. The name is taken from the Lake Chad, which in turn takes its name from the Borno State, lake, itself from the Arabic tacit, large lake. Chile. It is not known how the country got its name, but it may be derived from an Araucanian word for a type of bird. Another theory suggests that it may be a local word meaning where the land ends. China. China takes its English name from the state of Qin, a western Chinese kingdom during the Zhou dynasty. Colombia. Previously called New Granada after the Granada in Spain, Colombia's present name was adopted in 1863 in honor of Christopher Columbus. Comoros. The name of Comoros is adapted from the Arabic al-Qamar, moon. Costa Rica. Costa Rica means rich coast. The name was chosen by Christopher Columbus, who may have believed that gold would be found there. Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire, or Ivory Coast in English, is so called because the French and Portuguese confined themselves to the coastal trade in ivory in pre-colonial times. Croatia. Croatia is named after the Croats. Their name is either derived from the Persian Croatos, nomads, from the Caucasus, or from the Serbo-Croat Hrbat, mountain ridge, a reference to the mountains along the Adriatic coast. Cuba. Cuba, which is located roughly in the center of the Caribbean, may have adapted its name from the Terno word Cubanican, center place. Cyprus. It is believed that the island's abundant deposits of copper led to the Greeks naming it Kypros. According to another theory, however, the name Cyprus may be taken from the son or daughter of King Eurus, mentioned by Homer as king of Cyprus. The Czech Republic. The Czech Republic is named after the Kari, a Slav tribe which came from the east. The name may derive from the Salavannik Seta, company or group of warriors, or from Czech, a legendary Slav chieftain. The Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Congo got its name from the river Congo, which is named after the Congo people who founded the Congo Kingdom. Congo or Congo is a Bantu word for mountains, and the old name, Zaire, was also named after the name of the Congo River, sometimes called Zaire in Portuguese, adapted from the Congo word Nzeri and Zai, river that swallows all rivers. Congo seems to have replaced Zaire gradually in English usage during the 18th century, and Congo is the preferred English name in 19th century literature, although references to Zaire or Zaire as the name used by the natives remain common. Denmark. Denmark took its name from the Danes, possibly meaning warrior. Another theory suggests that it is derived from Old High German Tanar, sandbank, a reference to the number of islands belonging to the country. Djibouti. The name probably comes from an Afar word, gabari, plate. It may refer to the fact that the city is on the coastal plain and surrounded by flat desert. Dominica. Dominica is discovered by Christopher Columbus and named after the Lord's Day, Dies Dominica, or Sunday, in Latin. The Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic was previously called Santo Domingo, Holy Sunday, a reference to the fact that it was discovered on a Sunday. East Timor. East Timor, also known as Timor-Leste, takes Timor from the Mila Timor. East and Leste also means east, but that's in Portuguese, thus East Timor means east-east. Ecuador. The name means equator in Spanish, a reference to the equator running through the northern part of the country. Egypt. Egypt came from the ancient Greek and Roman names Aegyptos and Gyptus, are derived from the Egyptian Hut-Ka-Tara, temple of the soul of Ta, from Hut, temple, and Ka, soul, and the god Ta. The Latin name Gyptus is said to mean the land below the Aegean Sea, from Ergaia Hypsos. El Salvador. El Salvador means the Savior. The country takes its name from a Spanish fort located on the present site of the capital San Salvador. Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial relating to equal, and Guinea was given its name by the Portuguese after a Berber word, Agana, meaning black man, or Okalanaganam, meaning land of the black men. Eritrea. Eritrea was named by the Italians, from the Italianized version of the Latin Mare Erythraeum, Red Sea, from the ancient Greek Erythras, red. Estonia. The country is named after its inhabitants, the Esti. It is unclear where the word Esti comes from. Ethiopia. The Greeks named the country Aethiops, land of burnt faces, from Aetha, I burn, and opsis, appearance. Fiji. The meaning of Fiji is not known, but it takes its name from its largest island, Fidelvieu, meaning Great Fiji. Finland. Finland, meaning land of the Finns, is perhaps derived from the Germanic, or Teutonic Scandinavian, finna, fish scale. It may be a reference to the type of clothing worn by the primitive Finnish tribes. France. The country takes its name from a coalition of Germanic tribes, the Franks, who conquered Gaul, the ancient region of Europe, corresponding to modern France, Belgium, the South Netherlands, Software Germany, and northern Italy, after the fall of the Roman Empire. The name Frank either comes from the Old German word Franca, meaning fierce or brave, or from a personal name. French Guiana. The country adopted the name from the Portuguese, who came up with the name Gabão, hooded cloak, for the Gabon estuary, so called because of its shape. Gambia. The country takes its name from the Gambia River, itself named by the Portuguese after the local name, Berdima, the river. It has also been suggested that the name comes from the Portuguese cambia, exchange, in reference to the trade carried out along the river. Georgia. The name is derived from the Arabic and Persian words Karj and Gerj, both meaning country or land. Germany. The English name for Germany comes from the Roman Germania. Its origin is unclear, but it has been suggested that it is derived from the Germanic Gari, lance, a man, people. Another theory connects it with the Celtic Ger, meaning neighbor. Ghana. Ghana perhaps means king or sovereign and may be derived from the title assumed by the tribal chieftain of the old Ghanaian Empire that was located to the north of modern Ghana. However, this name came from the Ghanaian Empire. Greece. In English, Greece was named after the Graeci people, who may have taken their name from Grex, a personal name. The Romans used the name Graecia for the country, from which the modern name is derived. Grenada. It was named by Spanish sailors because the landscape reminded them of the region around Granada in Spain. Guatemala. The origin of the name Guatemala is not entirely clear, but it has been suggested that it comes from an Aztec word, Cramalan, meaning land of many trees or land of the eagle. It is also possible that the country takes its name from the word Guatemala, mountain of gushing water, after the volcano of Agua. Guinea. As I said, Guinea was given its name by the Portuguese after a Berber word, Agana, meaning black man, or Okalanaganam, meaning land of the black men. Guinea-Bissau. The second part of the country's name, Bissau, comes from its capital. It is taken from the indigenous Bayago people from the offshore islands. Guyana. Its swampy coastline and many rivers probably gave Guyana its name meaning land of many waters. Haiti. Haiti took its name from the Arawak name of Haiti, the original name for the island now shared by Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Haiti means land of mountains. Honduras. The name means deep water from the Spanish Hontura, a possible reference to the depth of the coastal waters. Hungary. Hungary's present name comes from Omegar, 10 arrows, the name of a group of tribes, 7 Magyar and 3 Kavar, living along the north shore of the Black Sea before they moved to modern Hungary during the 9th century. Iceland. Originally called Snelland, Snowland, Iceland's present name comes from the Norse settlers who renamed it with the intention to deter visitors from coming to the island. India. India is a Greek and Latin term for the country of the river Indus, with Indus probably coming from the Sanskrit word Sindhu, the sea. Indonesia. The name means Indian islands, from Greek Indos Nasos. Iran. The name of Iran is derived from the Old Persian Aryanim, the genitive plural of Arya, noble in the sense of high-born. It means land of the Aryans. Iraq. Iraq's name is a reference to its location astride the Euphrates and Tigris rivers. It comes from the Arabic al-Iraq, the river, bank or beside the water. Ireland. A name is a form of ir and land in the west from the Gaelic ir, west. Israel. Israel takes its name from the ancient land of Israel, which itself comes from Jacob, the son of Isaac and grandson of Abraham. Jacob's name was changed to Israel because he was one that prevailed with God. Italy. The name is believed to come from the Vitali tribe, whose name may be connected to Latin Vitules, calf, or Vituloi, sons of the bull. Another theory is that the name is derived from the Ovigtilia, land of the day or land of the light. Jamaica. Jamaica came from the Arawak name of Zemaka or Yemlia, meaning land of wood and water. Japan. The name means land of the rising sun, or sunrise land. It is a reference to Japan's location east of China. It comes from the Chinese pronunciation of Japan, from the Chinese characters Ri, sun, and Ben, origin. Jordan. Jordan is named after the river Jordan, from the Hebrew root jard, descent, into the Dead Sea. The river's name, however, could mean river of Dan, with Dan being one of the sons of Jacob. Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan means land of the Kazakhs, from Stan and the Turkic Kazakh, Kazakh or Kuzak horsemen, the riders of the steppe. However, Kazakh is more commonly translated as adventurer, outlaw, raider, or free, or independent man. Kenya. Kenya is a shortened version of the Kikuyu name, Kirinyaga, a corruption of the Swahili Karanyaga, mountain of whiteness. Kiribati. Previously called the Gilbert Islands, Kiribati is the native pronunciation of Gilbert and is pronounced Kiribati. Kosovo. Kosovo's name came from the Serbian Cyrillic word, or Serbo-Croatian word meaning blackbird, and ellipsis for Kosovo Polji, blackbird field, the name of a plain situated in the eastern half of today's Kosovo and the site of the 1389 Battle of Kosovo Field. The name of the plain was applied to the Kosovo province created in 1864. Kuwait. Kuwait takes its name from a small fortress. It is a diminutive of the Arabic Kut, meaning fort. Kyrgyzstan. The name means land of the Kyrgyz and comes from the Turkic Kir, steppe, and Gizmk, to wander. Laos. Laos is known as Pet Lao Lao State. In the Lao language, Laos was the name given to unite the 3 Lao kingdoms in 1893. Latvia. The name Latvia is derived from what the Latvians call themselves, Latvies. This means forest clearer. Lebanon. Lebanon comes from the Semitic word Laban, meaning white or whitish, probably referring to the snowy peaks of Mount Lebanon. Lesotho. Lesotho translates approximately into the land of the Sappho. Liberia. Liberia is from the Latin liber free, the same root of the word liberty, and is so called because it was founded in 1822 as a settlement for freed slaves from the U.S., and proclaimed independent in 1847. Libya. The name Libya comes from the Greek name given to Northwest Africa. Libya was the daughter of Pephus and Memphis in Greek mythology. Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein was named after the Liechtenstein family from Liechtenstein Castle in Lower Austria. The name means bright stone. Lithuania. The meaning of Lithuania is not known, although it has been suggested that it may be derived from the Latin Lita shore, a reference to the Baltic coast, or from the small river Letatka. Luxembourg. Luxembourg is originally found as Lucila, meaning little castle. Macedonia. Macedonia ultimately comes from the ancient Greek root mak, tall, high, possibly describing tall people living there. Madagascar. The name Madagascar originated with explorer Marco Polo in the 13th century as a result of hearsay and misunderstanding. He never visited the island and mistook the Italian version of the Arab name for Mogadiscio, on the Somali coast to refer to the island which he called Madagascar. Malawi. Malawi comes from Maravi people. Their name means flames, which may be taken from their habit of burning off dead grass to prepare the land for cultivation. Malaysia. Malaysia probably comes from the Tamil words Malawi, mountain, and city. The Maldives. The name probably comes from the Sanskrit Madvipa garland of islands from Mala garland or necklace and Dvipa. Mali. Mali may come from the Malint people, also known as the Mandinka, who are closely related to other men-speaking peoples who trace their ancestry to the Mali Empire. It has also been suggested that the name comes from the Mem word for hippopotamus. Malta. Malta is famous for its honey in former times. Malta may be derived from the ancient Greek melita, bee, which produces meli, honey. The Marshall Islands. The islands are named after the British explorer John Marshall, who explored them in 1788. Mauritania. The name comes from the country's biggest ethnic group, the Maori. Mauritius. Mauritius had various name changes before being named, in 1598, after the Dutch Prince Maurice van Nassau. Mexico. Mexico is the simplified Spanish version of a Nahuatl name for the Aztec capital, Metzalcoatl, said to mean in the navel of the moon from Metztlan moon, Zyklon Aval center, and the suffix, co place, to give place at the center of the moon. Micronesia. Micronesia came from the Greek words, micro, meaning small, and nesia, meaning island, and did you know that Micronesia is a small island? I think so too. Let's move on. Moldova. Moldova comes from the name of the Moldova River, which, legend has it, was named by Prince Drago after a dog, Melda, which drowned in the river after hunting in the rocks. It is sadly more likely that the name comes from the Gothic Moldova, dust. Monaco. It was founded by the Phocaeans in the 6th century BC as Menikos, a Greek word meaning single house or single temple, signifying a place to rest. However, it may come from the Ligurian Menagorok, Mongolia. Mongolia is named after the Mongols, who took their name from Mong brave or undefeated. Montenegro. Montenegro means Black Mountain, said to be a reference to the dark appearance of Entelovchina various times of the year and the surrounding heavily wooded areas. Monte means mountain and negro means black in Spanish. Morocco. Morocco is derived from Marrakesh, the old Arabic version of Marrakesh, the former capital. Mozambique. Mozambique is said to have come from a ruling Arab sheikh, Musa al-Bigim. The town which developed here was known to medieval Arab geographers as Musanbat and in Swahili as Msumbiki. Myanmar. Myanmar changed its name from Burma in 1989, because the latter was held to be a relic of European colonialism. The current name is taken from Myanmar, the local name for the Burmese people in their language. Myen means swift and ma strong. Namibia. Namibia comes from the Namad word namib, meaning shield. Nauru. The island's name may be derived from the indigenous word, anauro, meaning I go to the beach. Nepal. The origin of Nepal has been disputed. It may mean beginning of a new era, home of wool, holy place, to fly down in house, or be named after a king or kings called Neitha. The Netherlands. The Netherlands or Lowlands is the literal English translation of Nederlanden, itself a translation from the Latin inferior terra. New Zealand. The name New Zealand comes from the Dutch province of Zeeland, Sealand. Nicaragua. Nicaragua may come from the name of a local 16th century chief, Nicara, and agua, water in Spanish. Alternatively, it has been suggested that some Spaniards heard the name Nicaragua, perhaps meaning here, near the lake. Niger. The landlocked country takes its name from the Niger River that flows through Guinea, Mali, Niger, and Nigeria. Nigeria. Nigeria is also named after the Niger River. Niger, in the river's name, may come from the Berber phrase Ger and Ger, river of rivers. North Korea. Korea is the Western name for the Goryeo dynasty, which lasted from 918 to 1392. It can be translated as high and beautiful, but Korea came from Daenerys Korean, and it means big Han from the Han tribes. Norway. The name means the way north or the northern way from the Old Norse Norvgr, a reference to one of the routes taken by the Vikings. Oman. A number of theories exist as to the origin of Oman. Sumerian tablets mention a country called Magan, possibly a reference to Oman's copper mining industry. Pakistan. Pakistan is an acronym deriving from Punjab, Afghan frontier, Kashmir, and Baluchistan, lands where Muslims predominated. Palau. The origin of the name Palau is unknown, but it should not be confused with Pulau, an Indonesian word meaning island. Panama. Panama is named after the capital, Panama City, which is said to mean, place with, an abundance of fish, though some believe it comes from a Kuna phrase Panamai, far away. Papua New Guinea. The name comes from the Mil'ate Papua, and Guinea came from Ogina, meaning black people. Together, they mean, frizzy-haired men. Paraguay. The country takes its name from the Paraguay River, whose name comes from Para River or water, and gay born. This name may be connected with the Payaga tribe, perhaps meaning people born along the river. Peru. The name comes from the river Bira Peru, itself from the Guarani Bira or pier, water or river. It means land of the river. The Philippines. The Philippines were named after Philip II, king of Spain in the 16th century. Philippines is an anglicization of Filipinas. Poland. The country is named after the Polani people of the fields, or plain from pole field. Portugal. Portugal is derived from the Latin Pertuscale, warm harbor, which referred to a Roman settlement, now Oporto, at the mouth of the river Douro, and the fact that the port was never ice-bound. Qatar. There is no certainty as to the origin of the name. Qatar means to fall, drip, or trickle, or to line up camels in single file and connect them with halters, while Qatar means region and Qatar drop. Thus the name could have been inspired by the presence of well water or a camel park. The Republic of the Congo. The Republic of the Congo is named after the Congo River, which flows throughout the country. The Congo River is the world's deepest river and the world's second largest river by discharge. The Comité du Haut Congo, meaning Committee for the Study of the Upper Congo in French, was established by King Leopold I of Belgium in 1876, and the International Association of the Congo, established by him in 1879, were also named after the river. Romania. The name, perhaps unsurprisingly, comes from the Romans, as some members of the Roman legion settled in Dacia. Russia. Russia comes from land of the Rus. It has been suggested that Rus comes from Ruotsi, the Finnish word for the Swedes, and therefore means Swedish Vikings, or that it is a Viking word meaning oarsman Wawanda. The country takes its name from its indigenous people, the Vanarwanda. St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts is an abbreviation of St. Christopher, chosen by the first name of Christopher Columbus after his patron saint. Nevis also comes from Columbus, who thought that the island's summit, often wreathed in cloud, looked like Las Nieves, the snows. St. Lucia. St. Lucia is thought to have been discovered by Christopher Columbus, possibly on December 13th, the feast day of St. Lucy, but it is possibly named after Santa Lucia thanks to St. Lucia of Syracuse. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The island of St. Vincent was discovered by Christopher Columbus on January 22, 1498, the feast day of St. Vincent of Saragossa, a martyr who died from torture in 304. Samoa. Samoa is said to mean sacred center because, according to legend, this is where Tagalog created the world. It may, however, mean the place of the moa, an extinct bird, in the Samoan language. San Marino. San Marino is named after a Christian stonemason and later saint, Marinus, who is alleged to have fled Dalmatia to escape persecution by Diocletian, a Roman emperor who founded a hermitage on Mount Etono. São Tomé and Príncipe. São Tomé and Príncipe translate from Portuguese as St. Thomas and Prince. Saudi Arabia. Saudi refers to the name of the dynasty whose ponem is said ibn Muhammad ibn Khrin, while Arabia refers to the geographic region, principally the Arabian Peninsula. Senegal. Senegal may be named after the Znagab rivers. There is another apocryphal explanation that an explorer pointed to the Senegal River and asked what its name was. Il Sunugahol was the reply, meaning our canoe. Serbia. Serbia is named after the Serbs. It declared independence in 2006, having previously been part of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia and, later, Serbia and Montenegro. Seychelles. The French laid claim to the islands in 1756 and named them after Jean-Marie Séquelles, the French controller general of finance from 1754 to 1756. The islands became independent in 1976. Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone means lying mountains from the Portuguese Sierra, mountain chain, and Leia, line. However, there are no lions here. Singapore. Singapore is derived from the Sanskrit Simhapur meaning lion city, from Simha, lion, and Pur, city. Slovakia. Slovakia is named after the Slovaks, a Slovak tribe which probably came from Silesia in the 6th or 7th century. Slovenia. The country is named after its indigenous inhabitants, the Slovenes. The Solomon Islands. The islands were named by the Spaniards Alvaro de Mendieta, but it is inspired by Inca stories of islands 600 leagues to the west of Peru that had been the source of the gold that adorned the court of King Solomon. Somalia. Somalia is named after its indigenous inhabitants, the Somalis, or Sumali, who may have taken their name from a legendary ancestor, Suma or Semel. It has also been suggested that their name may come from Sogo and Mal milk, a reference to their pastoral lifestyle. South Africa. South Africa is, of course, the southernmost country in Africa. The word Africa may come from the Berber word afar, dust, or perhaps the ancient Egyptian root N'-fr, meaning good, beautiful, or perfect. South Korea. It's the same as North Korea. As I said, but Korea came from Darnas Korean, and it means Big Han from the Han tribes. South Sudan. Sudan comes from Balad Sudan, land of the blacks, from Balad, land, as, the, and Sudan, the plural of Eswad, black, but it was in the south of Sudan. Spain. Spain may come from the Phoenix Span or Tesman, rabbit, which were numerous in the peninsula, or from the Phoenix Fen, north, since it was north of Carthage, or it may come from the Basque Espana, lip or extremity, a reference to the southwestern area of Europe. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka means blessed island, also sometimes translated as resplendent island, and may be derived from the Sanskrit Shri, holiness, happiness, prosperity, or Anand, and Lakdigha, landmass. Sudan. As I said earlier, Sudan comes from Balad Sudan, land of the blacks, from Balad, land, as, the, and Sudan, the plural of Eswad, black. Savage. Suriname. The name Suriname is said to come from a local tribe called the Surinamese of Suriname, its earliest inhabitants. Swaziland. The country is named after the Swazis. The Swazis were an Nguni clan, taking their name from Ngwanii, who led them to this region of southern Africa. Sweden. Sweden is named after a powerful Germanic people, the Sversuians, the Roman name, who inhabited the area around Lake Melern. Switzerland. Switzerland takes its name from Schwyz, a German-speaking forest community that joined with Uri and Terwalden in signing an agreement of mutual assistance as the Everlasting League. Syria. The origin of the name Syria is not known, but it may be associated with the ancient kingdom of Assyria, although this lay mainly in modern Iraq. Taiwan. Taiwan came from earlier Taiwan, or other variants, from Syria Tara, people, plus an, place. Recorded in Dutch as Taiwan, and other variants, and in Minnan as Taiwan, and other variants. The term initially referred to a sandy peninsula in the area of modern-day Anpin district, Tenon, and eventually became the name of the entire island. Tajikistan. Tajikistan takes its name from its indigenous people, the Tajiks, with the additional stan. The Tajiks get their name from an Arab tribal name, Tai or Tai, a name widely used to describe the Arabs in pre-Islamic times. Tanzania. Tanzania is formed by merging the names of its constituent parts, Tanganyika and Zanzibar, which were united in 1964. The added A means land. Thailand. The country is named after the Thais whose name means free, people from Freya, to be free. Togo. Togo comes from Lake Togo, whose name may come from to water and go bank or shore. However, it has also been suggested that the name means upon the hill in the language of the Yu, the largest ethnic group in Togo. Tonga. Tonga simply means south. It is named in relation to Samoa. Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad was named by Christopher Columbus in 1498, after the three peaks that surrounded the southern bay. Tobago either comes from the Haitian tumbaku, pipe, or from the local word tabaco, a reference to its crop. Tunisia. Tunisia is named after the city of Tunis with the suffix -a adapted from the French name for the protectorate, Tunisie. Turkey. Turkey came from the word Turks, though they themselves use the Greek name Anatolia. Some people think that it may come from the bird, but it's not. Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan simply means land of the Turkmen from the ex-Turks and Stan. Their name may mean Turk-like from the Persian Turk, and the root of Indan to resemble or the suffix men may indicate strength. To-value. To-value means 8 standing together from the Tuval and to stand up and value 8. The 8 were the 8 islands and atolls inhabited, of 9 currently, when the first Europeans arrived in the 16th century. Uganda. Uganda means land of the Ganda, people from the Swahili land and Ganda, the root word and adjective for Ganda, the principal province. Ukraine. Ukraine is derived from the Russian Ukraina, land, on the edge, thus borderland from either side and Krajec to denote the territory between the open steppes of Russia and Asia to the east and the populated lands of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth to the west. The United Arab Emirates. This one's easy, it's the United Arab Emirates. 6 of them in 1971, Abu Dhabi, Ejman, Dubai, Al Fujairah, Sharjah, Ash-Sharqa, and Namak Hawayan, and Ras Al Khaimah joined in 1972. The United Kingdom. This is the United Kingdom of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Great Britain, in turn, was used to signifying that Britain was bigger than Brittany, in France, to which refugee Britons fled to escape Anglo-Saxon invaders. The United States of America. The United States of America originally united 13 constituent states, when it was established in 1776. Now it is 50, with Alaska and Hawaii being the most recent additions. As for the America bit, that was first applied to South America in 1507 by Martin Wilson Butler. The America part of the United States of America is named after Amerigo Vespucci. Uruguay. Uruguay may have come from Uregua, the Guarani-fur species of mussel, thus river shellfish, or from Uru, a type of bird that live near the river, Gaya to proceed from, and why water. Uzbekistan. The country is named after the Uzbeks, a general name for the Turkic-speaking peoples of the region. Vanuatu. Vanuatu means our land forever, from the Polynesian/Fijian vana, land. Vatican City. Vatican City came from Cacuva Italian Città del Vaticano, from Latin Civitas Vaticana, referring to the Vatican Hill, but ultimately, it also refers to Venezuela. Venezuela. Venezuela, Little Venice, was named because it reminded the Spaniards Alonso de Ojeda and Amerigo Vespucci of the Italian city. Vietnam. Viet is the Vietnamese pronunciation of a Chinese character meaning beyond or far and referred to the peoples living in the southern reaches of the Chinese Empire in the Red River Delta. Vietnam means Viets of the South. It came from the Bok Viet tribe. Yemen. The meaning of Yemen is disputed. Some say that it comes from the Arabic Yemen on the right-hand side of the Kaaba in Mecca or to the right of the Red Sea, others that it comes from Yem, good fortune or prosperity. Yet others that it is named after Yaman bin Qaddan, a grandson of Noah and progenitor of the South Arabian tribes, or that it is simply Al-Yam in the south. Zambia. The country is named after the Zambezi which forms its southern border with Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe means stone enclosure or stone dwelling from the Bantus Imba, houses, and Mbabwe, stones. And here in the name of the American states, I hope you'll understand.